welcome back to the Tess Files. My name is Tess, obviously, and I am taking you on this journey with me, transforming my life from a physiotherapist to a doctor. So if you haven't been to my channel before, please consider subscribing and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy it. So in this episode today, what I'm going to be tackling is the big question that lots of people have been asking me lately, which is, why did I want to change my career from a physiotherapist in a very established career to becoming a med student, which is where I am right now. So if you haven't been to my channel before, I am a first year medical student. I've actually just finished my first few weeks of being at school here in Sydney, and I am absolutely loving the wild ride that med school has been so far. So this is a really big question, and it's one that I have to say I've kind of been grappling with the best way to sort of explain my journey from being a physiotherapist to a future doctor. And I guess for me, it is not a linear process, the decision making to change career. And I think particularly when it's in the same industry, I'm staying with inside the health industry, but kind of sidestepping a little bit to something different. And so for me personally, I had always considered medicine as a future career, even from a very young age. So I remember in high school, the subjects that I chose strategically because I always had physiotherapy and medicine in my mind. I knew that I was interested in health and that I was interested in science and that I wanted to be able to help people and to be able to give back to society. So that's why I was always interested in the healthcare industry. But a big factor for me choosing physiotherapy at that high school age was that I was really drawn to the idea of this work-life balance that everybody talks so much about trying to achieve. And for me, physio represented a job where I would be able to eventually, if I wanted, work more flexible hours in terms of going into, say, a private practice or something like that. And usually what you hear a lot about physiotherapy is that people kind of come in at their set time and leave at their set time, and so you have that split between work life and home life. And so that was something that I really wanted when I was kind of 17 and making these decisions about my life. So I went along and I did my physiotherapy degree, and I certainly had moments of doubt throughout the degree, but then I had moments of real joy and enjoyment as well. And when I was doing my placements, I really enjoyed the patient contact, and being a part of the whole healthcare team on the ward gave me a lot of joy and excitement, and I felt like I was really contributing. So when I started my career as a physio, I really enjoyed it. But it became pretty clear to me straight away that I was interested in medicine when I started working. And if you've read any of my blog posts on the tessfiles.com, you will have kind of heard this story before, which is that I started to see the doctors on the wards and be really, really interested in what it is that they were doing. And so I would be reading the medical notes really in depth, and I would go home and kind of Google and look up all of the different parts of the patient's care that I wasn't understanding from a medical perspective. And in the meetings, particularly male doctors as well, but particularly female doctors, I would just sit there in awe of them and be, just incredibly inspired by the way that they carried themselves and the way that they were, so intelligent, but also so caring and able to balance this hugely demanding job. So it was pretty clear to me from probably the first year out of university that it was something that I was really, really interested in. But for me, it was a real lack of confidence and a lot of imposter syndrome, and I really grappled for many years to kind of get the confidence to actually apply for medicine. So there was a lot of back and forth in that time. Whilst I was having that decision-making process, I was building this flourishing physio career, and I would say the longer I was a physio, the more I came to love my career. And I think that's what I want to make really, really clear, is that just because I am changing my profession from physio to doctor doesn't mean that I don't absolutely love my career as a physiotherapist. And I absolutely believe that without physio, I would never have had medicine, because for me they're entwined. The way that I've been able to really develop that relationship with my patients, that I've been able to be part of that interdisciplinary team on the wards, taking care of the patients together, the way that I've come to understand everybody's role in the team, from the nurses, the allied health and the medical staff, and how we all add value to our patients. I certainly don't believe that one profession is more important than the other in the patient care. I think that we're all equal. And so for me it was more about physio provided a certain type of care to the patients, which is, for me, working on the hospital setting, it was about that rehabilitation of patients back to their daily tasks and their daily lives. Whereas the medical perspective was more actually about obviously their medical condition and helping patients from that perspective. And for me, it's just, I view this career change as a sidestep to maybe looking after a patient from a different perspective. And it's kind of my hope that by the time I graduate and start working as a doctor, I'll hopefully be able to add more to my patients and their journey and help to improve their quality of life even more by offering a physiotherapy perspective as well as a medical perspective to their care, and I guess giving them a more holistic view on their healthcare. So yeah, for me it's not really about choosing one over the other. It's about kind of growing into a future doctor from my identity as a physio, and I certainly have no intention of leaving that identity behind. I still work as a physio on the weekends and I still thoroughly enjoy it, and I actually think that I enjoy it more now that I can only do it once a week, and I really enjoy going back and being, I guess, having a lot more autonomy on the wards, because as a med student obviously you don't have that, and so being able to step back into my professional self on the weekends and remember my identity as a physio is actually really, really important to me. So I guess that is the long answer. The short answer is that I don't view this as a choosing of one career over another. I choose it as a kind of journey and a spectrum of one healthcare professional to another, and kind of emerging into this joint health professional so that I can help my patients achieve what they want to achieve in their lives and improve their quality of life. So yeah, so I hope that that answers some of your questions. If you have more questions about why I am changing careers, please put them down below, and I'm more than happy to kind of chat to everybody and answer some more questions. And keep an eye out for some of my next videos. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about giving advice for other people who would like to change their careers, and going through the process that I did, or the thought process that I did to realize that I wanted to change careers. So keep an eye out for that video coming soon, and I will see you next time. Bye.